Hey, this is Alan Fenstermaker here with the Pro Wrestling Archives. I'm here at UCW down in Bradenton, Florida with James Wolfe. How are you doing today, James?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Now, how was your match tonight?
It was great. It was a little bit of a banger. Got a little, roughed up, but I came out with the victory, so nothing
man.
more than the ancestors.
Can you talk about your match at all tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I worked Johnny Walker. He was a good competitor. He's a little gray around the beard, but I don't ever look at it as a rusty old man. I always see that as wisdom. I'm native, so I believe, when you get those grays, you definitely earn them. You got something. But this young little wolf got something for him, and the ancestors were on my side.
Awesome, man. Now, how long have you been wrestling for?
About 2 years.
Nice, man. Where did you get your start at?
I train at Dark Arts right now, underneath Malachi and Selena. That's where I started getting my groundings, and it's a game changer of a school, of a place. It's just, we're a different breed there.
Why would you say you're a different breed?
Because it's just, from the ground up, you just learn so much more about the business and how to work and how to do things, and like psychology isn't something that's really taught much around like Florida schools. So there's so much about it, and it's a game changer for sure.
Okay, now what would you say about Florida's pro wrestling circuit, and more specifically in the indie pro wrestling?
I mean, it's phenomenal. There's promotions everywhere, all the way from the Keys in South Florida all the way up to Tallahassee and Jacksonville. It's definitely something for the family. I'm sure you could find a show almost every other weekend around here.
Okay, now what promotions have you wrestled for here in Florida?
I wrestled for UCW. I wrestled for, God bless him, Pops and WXW for a little stint. I wrestled down in Daytona with Riot. I wrestled for CCW, which is Coastal Championship Wrestling. There's a lot of CCs and UCs. I'm obviously here at Universal Championship Wrestling.
Okay, now what gave you the inspiration to become a pro wrestler?
I mean, from a kid, I've always loved it. I've always fell in love with the game. I grew up watching Jeff, Undertaker, Kane, Randy, and it just was captivating to me. I just loved it so much.
Now, what's your favorite era or time period in pro wrestling?
Oh, dude, that's always so tricky for me, because there's such great moments and throughout history of wrestling. I mean, you can go all the way back to World of Sports, which is the early 70s kind of stuff, or you can go into the Attitude Era, which is in the 90s. You can always go all the way back to the 20s, where pro wrestling kind of just started. It's really just your flavor of the week kind of thing, whatever you want to get into, I would say, for sure. But I go for all of it.
Okay. Now, what was the most challenging part of your training?
I feel like everyone says this, but definitely the bumping. You as a fan, you always look at it and you always think there's this, there's that, there's whatever, and then you go in there and you realize, scientifically, every time our bodies hit that ring, it's the equivalent to getting hit by a 35-mile-per-hour car. So when that happens, over time, no one's coming out of this unscathed or unclean. And then when you find out that chairs are coming from Lowe's and ladders and tables are just what you ate on last night, is just mind-blowing to me.
Okay. Now, what's your favorite style of wrestling?
I'm a striker. I did martial arts from the time I was 3 all the way up until now. I'm 29 now, so I've done it my whole life, and I've just always enjoyed being able to brawl. I have a little bit of amateur wrestling in high school, but mostly when it comes down to bare knuckles, that's where I'm home the most.
Now, how did you do the transition from martial arts and amateur wrestling into professional wrestling?
So I did music for 7 years. So for me, the performance of being a vocalist within that realm, transitioning it for the most part was kind of the same thing in a way, because you work the crowd and then you also have a performance art to it. So that, and with anyone who's ever done martial arts knows how to control their body, knows how to throw a kick, a punch, an elbow, a headbutt, whatever it is, in a safe manner, but where it still looks lethal and you're still there and you're still making contact without completely obliterating the person.
Okay. Now, do you have any goals within the next couple months, next year that you want to do as a wrestler?
Oh, I mean, I'm coming for it all as far as goals. I'm someone who have always been hungry since I was a little kid, and so it's always just as long as I can keep evolving, keep moving forward, I'm happy. I'm good.
Okay. Now, what's some of the highlights that you've accomplished right now?
The highlights of the accomplishments I've had right now, I wrestled out in Wyoming with SXPW, which was a phenomenal, that's Southern Extreme Pro Wrestling. It was a phenomenal show out there. That was my first kind of like out-of-state big show for me. I just enjoy working, man. That's kind of the accomplishment, the fact that I just get to come out here and do this, because a lot of people don't have the opportunity or don't have the chance to. So the fact that I can come out here and make people forget about their lives for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is perfect for me.
Now, how would you say wrestling in Wyoming was like?
Different. The air is a lot thinner up there because it's all mountain air. And I believe there's a thing, if I remember correctly, don't quote me, don't hate me, Wyoming, but I believe there's something called like Wyoming hangover or something like that, where it's actually like people who are outside of that, when they come in, the air is so thin that your lungs or your body like goes into overdrive because it doesn't think it's getting enough air. And so obviously, as anyone who's a fan of pro wrestling, when you're hitting the ropes, you have a lot of cardio, you're getting a lot of wind, you're getting a lot of gas. So that air difference, it was a little bit like tricky to adjust to, because it wasn't like, I mean, we're in Florida. It wasn't humid. It was just clean, pure air. Like, I don't know how any other way to describe it. I just know afterwards I was like, okay, this is a little bit different than being at home. So
Okay. Now, what else would you like to say about wrestling in your career so far?
I mean, right now it's open season. It's hunt everyone and feast, and that's kind of my thing. I'll go from the biggest of the giants to the smallest of small. I'm here to fight. I'm here to come. I'm here to wrestle, and then I don't care where it is and where I go. That's just going to have to be.
Nice. Now, what's your next upcoming show you got coming
My
on?
next upcoming show is January 10th at Kissimmee in Old Town.
Okay.
At Concord, it's called Concord Kissimmee, and that's going to be my very next show coming up. And also, we have the fair over at the Manatee County Fair here for UCW at the very end of January, where it's every single day you can catch me out there wrestling from Saturday to Saturday.
Now, what's it like wrestling like every single day like that? It's probably got to take a lot of endurance.
Yes, yeah. You definitely, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't stretch, if you don't use, I use workout bands to kind of get my muscles fired up. I do a couple push-ups, I do a couple, squats. I just kind of get that blood flowing. If you don't take care of yourself before the match, because I've worked consecutively before without having that knowledge, and you end up walking out like a stick figure. You're so rugged and bumped up and worn out. So it's definitely crucial and critical to get a lot of prep work in.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for doing this. You want to plug any social media at all?
Thank you so much. Absolutely. You can follow me on James Wolfe Official, and I also have my own YouTube page where you can see all of my matches, recent matches, past matches, any promos, any characters, anything of that nature. And it's just simply James Wolfe.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cool, man.